शरणं शरणं पाहि गजानन शरणं शरणं पाहि गजानन शरणं शरणं पाहि गजानन शरणं शरणं पाहि गजानन
साईश्वरा जगदीश्वरा साईश्वरा जगदीश्वरा
ಶಿವ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವ ಅರುಣ ಶಿವ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವ ಅರುಣ ಶಿವ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವ ಅರುಣ
Offering our collective salutations at the feet of our beloved Sadguru, respected elders, devotees from around the world, staff and students, good morning and welcome to Sathya Darpan. In his last discourse, Sadguru began by explaining the various paths available to a seeker on the spiritual journey, such as Jnana, Bhakti, Karma and Raja Yoga, among others. He further emphasized a simple way of life through the 3 B's: to be, believe, and behave. In the 7th sloka of chapter 17, sage Ashtavakra says, Vancha na vishwavilaye na dveshastasya sasyatau yata jivikaya tasmad danya aste yata sukham. For a person of noble mind, there is no question of accepting or rejecting anything, be it dharma, wealth, pleasure, liberation, life, or death. Drawing an analogy, Sadhguru explained that just as coal transforms into a diamond only when subjected to great pressure and pain, likewise, one must endure challenges with fortitude to attain true and lasting brilliance. Sadhguru further shared that Jnanis or avatars do not speak the truth. Rather, whatever they speak becomes the truth. Likewise, they do not follow dharma. Whatever they do becomes dharma. He concluded by urging everyone to develop firm belief, assuring that through such steadfast faith, inner transformation will naturally unfold within. We now pray to Sadhguru to bless us all with his discourse on Ashtavakra Gita.
It is said that mind is the reason for one's bondage or liberation. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Like the key, when it is turned towards one side, it opens the lock. And when it is turned towards the other side, it locks the door. Is the example Bhagavan used to give about how mind can bind you or liberate you. It is not really the fault of the mind, but it is the fault of the owner of the mind who does not know how to use it. Like the key is not at fault. It is the owner of the house who should know which way to turn the key to open the door or to lock the door. So all this exercise of learning scriptures, attending satsangs and doing various other spiritual activities are the ways to learn how to use this mind properly, how to use the key properly. Like a small child needs to be told how to open the door or how to lock the door. The child won't be able to do it on its own. Likewise, we all need to learn how to use the mind correctly, to turn it towards God and attain liberation, or to turn it towards the world and get into bondage depends on us, not on the mind. So it is no point in just wishing the mind away or cursing the mind or complaining about the situations around. Rather, learn how to deal with it by knowing how to use your mind correctly. Because without the mind, you cannot function in this world. Everybody needs a mind to function, which controls the senses and undertakes activities. But our Ashtavakra says, instead of operating from the lower mind, which is only interested in the senses and sense pleasures, if you purify it a bit, train it a bit, it will start enjoying the higher pleasures of spirituality. Both are joyful. In some way, some joy is there in the lower pleasures too, otherwise why would people run behind it? But there is a greater joy lying far ahead of us in terms of spiritual joy, which is much bigger and much more intense and it is everlasting, it is something that the mind has to be taught. And once the mind starts developing taste for all these things, eventually it becomes accustomed to the spiritual joy. And then the joys of the world, howsoever attractive, they seem to be very feeble or insipid or tasteless. That is how one grows in the spiritual path, by training the mind to develop taste for the higher things and give up the taste for the lower ideas, which is generally the tendency of the mind. So as we were studying and moving forward in Ashtavakra, Gita, I think somewhere I missed one shloka, and I thought that I will go back to that because it is an important shloka. And that's on page number 34. It is 17.9. So this shloka says, Shunya drishtir vratha cheshta vikalanindriyani cha naspraha na viraktirva kshina samsara sagare. It means Shunya drishti. His vision is zero. We met somebody with no sight but great vision recently. What is this person's vision? As if he is staring into nothing. As if he is seeing but he is not seeing. As if he has no understanding of what he is watching. Shunya drishti. He just looks at things but does not get attached to anything that he sees. That is the idea of Shunya drishti. Does not mean he does not see, he is blind. And so he cannot see the world. No, that's not true. He has eyes which are very much capable of seeing everything and the mind that understands what he is seeing. But he is unattached to what he sees. Good, bad, ugly, everything is a passing sight. Like a cinema, like a movie. And does not stay on anything for too long. I keep saying, if you do not want to get attached, do not look at a thing twice. If you look at it once, it is fine. But if you look at it again, then dhyayato vishayan punsaha, our decline begins because we get attached to it. We want to see it again and again. When I was young, I wanted to have a bike. All young boys want bikes, and they want not some ordinary looking bike. They want some macho bike, which looks like you really are controlling something big. So when I started working and I had to commute in the buses in Bangalore, it was quite a pain because it used to be so crowded during the working hours. Metro wasn't there, and the only things available were these bus routes. This is 2003 I'm talking about. So it was very difficult. And then again and again I had to struggle with morning buses. It was a crowded buses with everybody trying to board the same bus. And then you have to be very punctual because if you miss the bus, the next bus will be like 5 minutes later or 7 minutes later. And that will connect you to another bus. So I had to change 2 buses. One was at Silk Board Junction. That's where I used to live. I had to take one bus that will take me till Jayanagar 9th block. From there I had to change another bus and come to Jayanagar 3rd block. Suppose I don't catch the Silk Board bus at 8:50 or 8:45, whatever the time was, I will not be able to come to the Jayanagar 9th block bus on time. If I don't come to that on time, if I miss that bus, then instead of one bus, I'll have to change again 2 buses, from Jayanagar 9th block to Jayanagar 4th block, and from 4th block, another bus to 3rd block. So that was my plight. So if I miss it by even a minute or 2, so I decided, let me have a bike, so that I can go at my own time and come back on my own. And that time, this Bajaj Pulsar was very much in vogue. It was just recently launched. And the definition of it was definitely male, because it would turn its head whenever there are females walking on the road. But the bike would turn its head. I'm like, bikes cannot turn their heads, But the biker will turn his head. That was the idea. So I was passing by the showroom where all this heavy advertisement was going on because it was, and many people advised against it. It's too big a bike, it is risky, this, that. But once I used to pass by that showroom in Jayanagar, and every time I look at it, I think I should have that bike like that. First, no, let us ignore why we need one. It's a waste of money, it's unnecessary. I just started a career, save money and all that. But again and again and again, I'll be passing by the same road. And every time that huge hoarding and the big posters and the huge showroom and, people buying the bikes and ceremonies being done to celebrate the new buyer, all that. So again and again, because I was going by the same road, I used to keep looking at it. And that is what happened. Finally, I ended up buying that bike. Buying that bike is one thing, but now you have bought the bike, you want to roam around, how can you keep the bike? You want others to see what you have. So the mind slowly starts getting entangled in it. I used to spend half an hour cleaning the bike every morning. It has to be spick and span, dust free. Even in the tires, there should not be any dust. That's how I was. So I used to take my old toothbrush and clean every spoke. So attached. So suddenly I became so fond of that bike. All this started because of that one look at the showroom where there was a huge advertisement and those color, nice, shiny bikes were all placed in the window, glass window, and you always keep watching it from the bus and keep aspiring for it. Anyway, that didn't last for too long. I fell from the bike and hurt my knee, and then I thought I must have a car because from bikes we keep falling. So, mind and how it builds up. Idea is that these people look at things, look at the world, but they're just, it's a passing glance. The eyes don't get attached to what they see. They see things, they see beautiful things, they see ugly things also. In both the situations, they see as if they're seeing through a void, through vacuum. There is nothing in that. They're unattached. They're unattached. That is the idea. They look at the world, but they do not get attached to the world and the sights of the world. That is the idea of shunya drishti, as if looking into an oblivion. Then vrutha cheshta, all their desires or wanting to achieve something, they consider it is a waste of time. What is there to achieve? What is there to enjoy in this world? They think it's a waste of time if you are seeking the world. Now you will say, what about the job and what about all this? You must have it, yatha jivikaye tatha, it was written earlier, that what is needed for you to keep your flesh and bone together, to that extent you engage in the world. That's not a problem. Beyond that, you don't get interested in things. So these people's vritha cheshta, they do not have interest in anything and they feel it's a waste of time, it's a futile, it is a bad idea to get into the world and try to enjoy the world. Because at the end of it does not really exist. In the sense, like a dream, you get involved in the dream, you go through the emotions of the dream. But when you wake up, the dream disappears. Nothing of the dream you carry with you in your waking state. Similarly, the things of the waking state cannot be carried into the dream state. So this man watches everything as if he is watching a dream. A very nice one or a nightmare, doesn't matter. Both ways he is not affected because he is aware. Like sometimes when we are sleeping and we are dreaming, somehow subconsciously we are aware that we are dreaming. Sometimes we are not aware. We are totally into the dream and we start emoting along with the dream. But sometimes there is a subtle awareness that I am actually watching a dream. It is interesting, but I know deep down that this is just a dream. And I am going to wake up after some time and this dream is going to get over. So they are in that kind of middle state, neither Jagrati nor Swapna. In between they are. They are watching the dream, but with the consciousness that they are watching the dream. They are not lost into the dream and they are not getting attached to things of the dream. So they are dreaming, yet with that subtle understanding and knowledge that this is after all a dream and I am going to wake up soon. That is how they work in the world. They work in the world because they need to work in the world, but they know very well this is not going to lead them to the ultimate. This is just something that needs to be done for the sake of doing, that's it. No additional interest and extra interest in doing things. So this is how their activities are also, they appear to be running behind targets and achieving things and enjoying their successes, but deep down they do not. Like somebody who is watching a dream and becomes a billionaire in the dream, even though in the dream he might see a party being thrown and everybody is celebrating him, but his consciousness knows this is a dream, it's not real. Likewise these people are. They work but they never get attached to the work. They see but they never get attached to what they see. And vikalani indriyanicha, as if their senses have become very weak. A person who is very old, can he enjoy the senses? No, his taste buds don't work, his eyesight does not seem to be good, he can't hear properly, he cannot eat and digest food, pains are there everywhere in the body, he does not enjoy anything. He wants to be left to himself. Let's go for a hiking or trekking, he is not going to participate. Let's go to one concert and enjoy the music, he is not going to come. Let us eat this, that and everything else. He said, no, I can't digest, I cannot eat. He can't see, hear, taste, smell and touch, as if his indriyas have become weak. They behave like that in the world. Why are you not enjoying this food? It's fine, I need to eat, I've eaten my part of it. I won't overtly eat just because it is tasty. Why are we not going to this place again? I've been there once, that's enough. How many times do we need to go to the same place? They seem to be so disinterested, as if their senses are not working, as if they're in some vegetative or a comatose state, where they exist but they don't exist. They deal with the world but they don't get entangled in the world. Vikalani, as if they're handicapped, as if they're weak in their indriyas. And indriyas are incapable of enjoying the world. Many people are there, they're so passionate about the world. Let's eat that, let's go there. They keep checking on every offer that comes up on the internet, what to buy, what not to buy, which holiday to take, which hotel and restaurant to go and eat, which place to visit. All the time, all the time. They're so driven by those senses that they're just pulled in all directions. Whereas this man stays quiet. A new show has come, good, you go and see. No, why are you not coming? No, I'm not interested. How can you be like that? Such a boring man, you don't have interest in anything. But they are enjoying themselves. They don't want that enjoyment, that peace to be disturbed by these silly things. So they behave as if they are incapable of enjoying this world, as if their indriyas or senses are incapable of it, they are defunct, or as if they have become handicaps who cannot enjoy or cannot see things, like old people. This is how they behave in the world, it seems. And then na spruha na viraktihi. Spruha means desire for things, virakti means detachment from things. Both do not exist for them. So if you see something only, you will either desire or not desire for it. They are seeing but they are not seeing. They are hearing but they are not hearing. They are smelling but not smelling. They are tasting but not tasting. They are touching but not touching. They are doing but not doing. They are enjoying but not enjoying. This is their state of mind. Like that half-conscious state in the dream. When you know it is a dream, at the same time you still enjoy the dream, but you don't insist on that dream becoming true when you wake up. So there is a sense of detachment and sense of attachment. Both exist in a perfect balance. That is how they live their lives. Everything they are going through, all the motions of life, but nowhere they are getting entangled by any of these things. How must be that state? One has to really sit and contemplate on a state like this. That you don't deny yourself the various enjoyments of the world. At the same time, you do not get attached to any of it and desire for it. There is neither a desire for it nor there is denial. If it comes by virtue of whatever the destiny, you experience that and you're done with it. You don't crave for experiencing it again. It's done and dusted. Earlier I was like that, anything nice, sweet, or have a sweet tooth. In fact, my entire set of teeth are sweet only. I keep eating a lot of sweets. So if a food is there and sweets are there, I'll keep the food aside, first I'll eat sweets. Then I had to teach myself, no, this is too much of sugar, this is not good. This is, first you eat your meals and then you eat the sweet, if you need a little bit for taste's sake. So when I started eating like this, and I would take one spoon of sweet and put it in my mouth and then I'll refuse the rest of it. People started saying, did we not cook properly? Is the sweet not tasty? Have you made a mistake? I told them, no, you have made perfectly well, but I have decided to eat only so much. I don't want to keep eating this sweet because sugar is an addictive thing. And once you get addicted to that, you keep asking for more and more and more. So all addictions of our lives are like that, isn't it? You get addicted to wealth, woman, wine, as they say, Ramakrishna would say. Once you get addicted, it's very difficult to get rid of it because it becomes a habit. And if you remove H, a bit remains. If you remove A bit remains. If you remove B, it remains. So it doesn't go easily. So these people don't engage only too deep into things, just at the surface level. They just skim the surface, like window shopping, but they don't buy. They appear to go and buy, but they won't buy. They will just window shop and come back. That is how they live. Oh, they don't reject a thing, saying, oh, it is bad, it is not good for me, it is not good for my spirituality, let us get rid of it. Nor they accept things. Oh, this is good for my spirituality, let us take this. Whatever is there, it is there in its place. It is doing its own thing, it has its own purpose. I have my own way of doing things, I have my own way of living. So neither I get entangled into it, nor I run away from it. Both do not exist. Why does it happen to these people? Because for them, this word is what I wanted to really teach. Kshina samsara sagare. This samsara, this world is compared to a big ocean fraught with dangers, with storms and tornadoes and all kinds of dangers that are happening over there, and wild beasts in the ocean which can eat you up in no time, sharks and crocodiles and whatever. So this world is compared to a great big ocean, not the ocean of Mahambodho that we talk. Generally a very difficult to navigate kind of ocean. And he says, if there is an ocean only, I need to worry about crossing it, right? For these people, the ocean has dried up. So there is no need to cross at all. Remember Namibia, the country, the Namib desert. It was earlier water body. Lot of water was there, but it dried up over a period of time. And now there are only dry areas there. So for these people, it's like this. Suppose there is water, then you have to worry how to cross this. Should I swim or should I take a boat? Or which way? But if there is no water there, water only has dried up, where is the question of them wanting to cross or worry about crossing it? So these people are like that. For them, the interest in the world has dried up. So world exists, but their interest does not exist in the world. So they eat, still they don't eat. They see, but they don't see. They hear, but they don't hear. That is what is the idea. That the water is dried up, so where is the question of worrying? When Moses wanted to cross the Red Sea, what happened that time? The miracle, they say, happened. And God parted the sea. And then they could just walk across. Where was the worry of swimming across or drowning or taking a boat? Nothing was needed. Why? Because water dried up. We heard about that miracle. Like that, for these people, ocean exists for others. For them, there is nothing that exists. They don't get worried or entangled by the world because it doesn't exist for them. And that is why they don't have to reject or accept things. So for all others, there is so much of excitement. These people live with equipoise. Whatever is coming, let us use it as is needed and then be done with it. They don't want it, they don't want to reject it also. However it works, fine for them. So how can somebody be like that? Because their minds have become so pure, in a way like an ocean that has been dried up. Now if the ocean dries up, there is no worry of crossing the ocean. So that is why Mirabai used to sing, मोहे लागी लगन गुरु चरणन की भवसागर सब सूख गयो है फिक्र नहीं मोहे तरनन की. Means this water of my Bhavasagar has dried up. So I have no worry of crossing it at all. Whether I cross it or not cross it, it doesn't matter anymore. And I don't need any help to cross it. I have no fear as well. Because there is no water, so there is no danger for me. My Guru has taken care of that my mind has become so dry that we don't have to really worry about how to deal with the world, whether the world will eat us up, whether we will get consumed by this world. None of these worries exist anymore in me. Because for me, the interest in the world has dried up. My mind has changed. And that is how it happens. In abroad, when I go, people, somebody fell in love and then they had a breakup. And then the problem is that, so the hurt was that breakup happened. Okay, that happens every other day, and I know. Then what is the problem? Problem is that he rejected me. That is the problem. Because he lost interest in me and he rejected me. One day he told, that's it, this is it. There is no more relation between us. You go your way, I go my way. Because he got interested in somebody else. So the hurt is that he rejected me and he got disinterested in me. Before he rejected, if you had rejected him, you would be proud today. Who is he to reject me? I rejected him even before that. And you wouldn't be sad anymore. But because you got rejected, you got dumped, as they say, you are so hurt and you are crying and complaining about it. Suppose you were on this side and you had dumped the other fellow, you wouldn't have any remorse at all. Why? Because you lost interest, you don't want to be with that person. So there is no remorse, no regret, no anger, no frustration, no complaint, crying. Because you rejected in the first place. So these people are like that. For them, world, they have given up on the world. They have dumped the world, let us say. Before the world dumps them, they have dumped the world. And so there is no remorse, no regret. Fikar nahi mohe tarnan ki. I have no worries about how am I going to cross this ocean, this huge big ocean of samsara. How will I navigate through these big waves? And how will I find my destination? There is no worry, just you can walk across, that's it. Don't worry about boat and boatmen and nothing exists. Just walk across and you will be on the other side. So these people live like that. What a blessed life that must be. That they are completely living in this awareness that this exists, but only to this extent, not beyond that. Today I came across a little video which was talking about, it's called In Case I Die. Folder should be there on all computers, it seems. In Case I Die should be the name of the folder. And in that folder, what all should be there? Your all identities should be there, because after you die, people have to deal with all the paperwork for you, including, so he was telling, include your birth certificate also. Just not enough if you have your Aadhaar, PAN and this and that. Similarly, if you have divorced, married, all those paperwork also you put in place. Then there's in that many subfolders. Another subfolder will be all your properties and assets and investments. Don't forget to include your PF and all the other government pension and all those details. Then, and your bank details and your what you call house details and assets details, property details. And then third subfolder you create, in that you put your some other things like your insurance and many other claims that they have to make after you die. So make sure that all that is put. Then your will and succession papers, who is going to inherit what, and who is going to be in charge of things after you die. So there is a fourth folder, one fifth folder, like that he was explaining. In case I die folder. So he said everybody should have that folder on their computer, just in case, who knows who lives how long. So please make sure that the folder is there. Then I thought, if I make a folder, what is going to be inside the folder, I was thinking. In case I die, what should be the folder? Assets, investments, insurance, none of these exist. Government schemes, pensions, bank accounts, balances, none of these exist. Children, grandchildren, and inheritance and successions, none of these exist. Previous marriages, divorces, none of these exist. And the complication that comes with it, you see, their children versus our children versus somebody's children, all will fight for the inheritance and assets. None of these exist. Then what else is there, I was thinking? Is there any succession planning? Okay, I die and after me this person is going to take over and run the show. That does not exist. So I was thinking, what will be there inside my folder? Nothing will be there inside my folder. Why? Bhavsagar sab sukh gayo hai. Fikr nahi mohe tarnan ki. My Bhavsagar has dried up. I have no reason to worry. What should I cross? What should I worry? Which asset is going to whom? Who is benefiting, not benefiting? Who should claim my this thing and that thing? There is nothing to claim. So where is the worry? Empty folder this is. So I was thinking about it, that a person, a Jnani's life is like that. It's an empty folder. And whatever little responsibilities are there, they are all as a part of the trust. And there are other trustees who know all the details. I don't have to worry about those things as well, because there is somebody already knowing it. But imagine for an ordinary man who has amassed and accumulated so many things, who has so many relationships, God forbid several wives and several children in several countries. And then, Middle Eastern people have seen how many wives and how many children, because they are permitted to marry as many times or whatever. So they have so many children. And Western countries have seen the divorcees and then they have children from several marriages. So they have claims on everything. And then all kinds of bank details, some in India, some in Switzerland, some in some Cayman Islands, some in some other God-forsaken place to avoid taxes and things like that. Nobody knows. And God knows how many places they have bought, how many lands and properties they themselves wouldn't know. That is the complication of their lives. I was thinking, how will they ever create a folder like this? They will take a whole life to create a folder. And because there's so much they have got engaged and entangled in the world, it's impossible for them to get rid of it. That is why they find it so difficult to take to the spiritual path. Because there's so much to handle there. Just to unwind or get rid of all that will take a lifetime. So where is the question of you going and getting into spiritual path at all? Dropping off all that things is very difficult. That is why our ashram dharmas were there, Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. So Brahmacharya, Grahastha was you enter the world, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa was exit the world. And so you have to really start doing that work as you reach your mid-age, that emptying your folders and getting rid of all that attachment, because you don't need it anymore. What do you need it for? Anyway, you are not going to be there to enjoy it. So who is going to enjoy? Your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. For that sake, you should take so much of headache right now. Give them good education. I always tell our parents, give your children good education, good values, and leave it at that. That is the greatest investment you have made in them, and that is the greatest asset that you have left with them. Don't leave money for them, too much money. It will ruin them. It will ruin them. There is a doha in Hindi which says, Poot kaput to ka dhana sanchay, poot saput to ka dhana sanchay. It means if your son is a good son, then why should you save money for him? He'll anyway earn his money by his hard work. And if your son is a bad son, why should you save money? He will anyway squander it off. He will waste it. He will get spoilt. Either way, you don't need both money. Good son also does not need your money. Bad son also should not need your money, should not be given, because he will anyway spoil it. So be free. The idea is be free. ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ತನುವನ್ನು ಲಿಂಗಕ್ಕೆ ಮನವನ್ನು ಜಂಗಮಕ್ಕೆ ಧನವು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಿಶ್ಚಿಂತನಾದಿರುವ ಭಕ್ತನೇ ಮಹಾದೇವನಯ್ಯ says. The one who has given his body to the Guru in offering of service to Guru. The one who has given his mind to the linga, to God, always contemplating on the truth. And the one who has given all his belongings to the society. Such a person is free, nischinta, without any chinta, without any worries. And such a bhakta alone is Mahadeva himself. He is God himself. Because he has nothing to hold on to, nothing to cling on to, nothing to worry about. Such a worry-free life. These people, why? If you have Bhavasagar only, you have to worry about crossing. Or have children, have assets, have properties, have investments, have businesses, have this, have that. Then you worry, then you have to worry about how to cross this Bhavasagara. But when you have none of these, where is Bhavasagara? Where is the problem of crossing it? That is why Meera says, I have given up everything. I have no Bhavasagara left, so where is the question of me worrying about crossing it? My Guru has taught me this detachment. So it doesn't mean that tomorrow you go and sell off everything and distribute it off to the poor. What I mean to say is that learn to live a life of detachment, that tomorrow if you have to give it up also, you have no fear, no worry. And if you have to keep it also, there is no burden and no effort. That kind of understanding one should have. But if you cannot develop that kind of understanding, then better not have anything, because why have and then struggle to get rid of it? Rather not have it. So that is the life of these saints and the great ones who are happily roaming without a worry in life. Where the food will come from, who will shelter them, how will they survive? No worries. Bhavasagar sook gaya hai. This Sheena Samsara Sagare. This is the idea, that the worldly waters have dried up. So they don't have to worry about crossing it. So they, as I said, they see but they do not see. In Bhagavad Gita, another shloka comes which says, who truly sees? These people don't see you. They say, Bhagavad Gita, one shloka is there. For academic interest, I have written for myself. It says, Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyastva avinashyatvam yah pashyati sa pashyati. The one who sees the Lord who resides in the heart of all the beings. The one who sees the indestructible in the destructible, such a person alone sees. Yah pashyati sa pashyati. The one who sees the truth of self alone sees. All others are blind. All others are blind. So we are all thinking that we have very good vision. And if it's not good, we get it corrected and take spectacles and whatever and try to see things. Even then we are blind. We don't see at all, says Bhagavad Gita. Because you're seeing untruth. You're seeing the bodies and minds and getting entangled in that. Are you seeing the truth of the self? If you don't see the truth of the self, you are as well be called that you are blind. Surdas was like that, he was born blind, it seems. But at some point in time, he was wanting to go and see Krishna. And in his eagerness, he went and fell in a well, dry well in the forest. He had nobody to pick him up and he had no eyes to come out on his own. So he started singing the glory of Krishna. Then this Krishna came, it seems. One boy came and pulled him out and told him that everything is okay, this and that, and no problem. And then he blessed him with the vision also. After the boy left, he regained his vision, it seems. But once he regained the vision, he realized that the one who gave the vision was Krishna. But I could not see him. I only saw this jungle with my eyes now, because once he got his vision back. So he took one thorn from a nearby bush and again blinded himself, saying that if I must see only Krishna. Why should I see this world? If Krishna did not show me himself, what is the point of having the eyes back? They're so clear. What is the use of this tongue, ears, nose, whatever, if it is not for God? If it's only to enjoy the world, for which sake I use it, then why should I even have it, he says. So Surdas this blindness was self-inflicted. Because he said, if I see, I must see only Krishna. If I don't see Krishna, I don't want to see anything else. What's the point in seeing this world? However, that is one extreme. The other extreme is spiritual extreme, where you see only the divine in everything. You don't see anything else. Whoever comes to you, you only see the divinity in them. They alone have the vision. They alone see. All others are blind. So these jnanis see as if they are blind. They don't see this world. They are seeing something else. They are hearing something else. They are smelling, tasting, touching something else. Not the bodies, minds and the senses that come with it. Beyond that they have gone. And they live a very free life because there is no samsara sagara, so there is no worry of crossing it at all. These are the people who live a life of total detachment. And such a life is a blessed life, is what Ashtavakra is saying. Many times he says, yukatarthaha or dhanyaha, these words he uses to tell that such people are very blessed who are able to live like this. And we must all aspire to live like that. I'll come to the sloka number 13, which is on page number 45, because the ones in between we have already finished. The shloka says, how does this person behave? As I said, these are all the symptoms or the qualities of the jnani that we must compare ourselves with and see how far we are here. It says, na nindati, na cha stauti, na hrishyati, na kupyati, na dadati, na grihnati, muktaha sarvatra nirasaha. This person is nirasaha, disinterested, not enjoying anything, distasteful. Why? And where? All the time, sarvatra. In all places, at all times, in all situations, he is free. What does he do? Na nindati. He does not criticize anybody. If somebody does bad to him, he doesn't go back cursing them. Na cha stauti. Nor he praises people unnecessarily. Not necessary. Why should you praise people? Because we want some favors from them. He doesn't need any favor from anybody. Therefore, he need not praise anybody. Na hrishyati. Does not rejoice. Na kupyati. Does not get angered. All these qualities don't exist in him. Na hrishyati, why? Because when somebody praises you, you start becoming excited. So you don't expect praises from anybody. Na kupyati, if somebody criticizes you, you get angry. He doesn't get affected by it also. So in the first two the words he says, he does not criticize anybody, he does not praise anybody. And the other two words are what he goes through when others criticize or praise him. Neither he becomes happy nor he becomes angry when he is praised or criticized. So he lives a normal life. He says what it is, as it is, without sugarcoating it, without trying to be overtly nice. Because he doesn't need anybody's favor. He does not depend on anybody. He does not depend on anything. So he need not speak unnecessarily or unnecessarily sweetly or try to please somebody. It's not. And nor he needs to criticize anybody because he doesn't want to make enemies also, neither friends nor enemies. So he is free from these ideas. And na dadati na grihnati. Neither he gives nor he receives. Now you would say, how can that be possible? It means he doesn't feel the doership of giving. Oh, I am giving. That feeling is not there. What is to be given, he gives. Na grihnati. Oh, I don't accept. No, that is also not true. Whatever needs to be accepted, he accepts, but without feeling the doership in it. Now just think of just these two words. Dadati, grihnati. When we give with so much of ego. Suppose we are giving to somebody, we think we are great because we are giving. Especially when you are making a dana or a charitable donation. How much ego comes into it? How much ego that I earned it, it is mine and I am now giving as a charity. I have met so many people in the world because we are running a charity institutions. It's a part of my job to raise funds and encourage people to do charity. But the most painful people are those who make me feel so bad and try to make me feel so burdened by their giving. I don't feel like taking from them. Because I feel, what is the point in taking from such people who feel so much of arrogance is there, subtle arrogance in giving. It is not a pure charity. So such people are very difficult for me because we don't want to take from such people. See, Krishna went to the palace of Duryodhana. In the sense, he went to Hastinavati to broker the deal between the Yudhishthira, Pandavas and the Kauravas. And somehow he wanted to bring them to a negotiation and kind of stop the war, apparently. If he really wanted to stop, he would have stopped the war. But he at least was doing this dharma, what needs to be done. There, Duryodhana says, first he tries to capture Krishna. And when he's incapable of capturing, he immediately starts buttressing him, saying that you come to my home and I will treat you well. I have a palace made of gold and diamonds and all. He says, I am not interested. Then Bhishma Pitamaha says, please come to my home. I have a palace made of silver. I will look after you this night. He said, no, I am not coming. Then Vidura does not even ask him. Because Vidura, though he is the minister, he lives a very simple life in a hut. Does not have any luxuries and comforts. But Krishna himself goes to Vidura and says, can I come and stay with you tonight? And Vidura is like shocked. He says, no, not in my place. You are a king and you should be treated well. I cannot host you at my place. That is very modest. Not for you, not for your dignity. He says, no, I don't mind. I just want to come to your house. Would you allow me to stay or not? Vidura, what can he say? Bhagavan is saying, I am coming to your house. So he accepts, saying that I come to my house, okay. But I have nothing to feed you. I eat some fruits and that's about my meals are just that. And I don't eat all these luxury things, all this, mishtana or all these parks, other things I don't eat. Nobody cooks for me. I just live by myself alone. And I eat what I have got, which is fruits. So he said, no problem, I will eat that. Vidura is not able to convince Krishna to not come. Krishna is hell-bent on coming to his house only. So poor Mudra, with lot of hesitation and embarrassment, he brings Krishna to his house. All he has is a cot to sleep that he gives to Krishna. And to feed him, what dinner should we serve him? He has only plantains, bananas. And he offers them. And that too in his devotion, with tears flowing from his eyes, and unable to withstand that overwhelming feeling of devotion, he keeps peeling the bananas, throwing the fruit and giving the peels to Krishna. And Krishna is happily eating the peels, not bothered about whether this is fruit or the peel. And Vidura is not realizing, and Krishna, though he is realizing it is not the fruit, yet he is eating. This is the sight of his hut. Rejecting the offers from those highly arrogant Duryodhana kinds, or even Bhishma Pitava, who was on the wrong side. He was not on the side of Dharma. Even though good man, he faltered there. So Krishna did not go there. He went to Vidura and ate what Vidura offered, however modest and simple. That is how these jnanis are. That is how these divine beings are. Purity has to be there in our dealings with them. If we have selfishness, we have ego, arrogance and haughtiness and such ideas, then these jnanis won't come to us. Nor jnana will come to us. We will also never become a jnani. So while giving, you give with, as they say, right hand gives, left hand does not know. That is the kind of giving we should have. And grihnati, when you receive also, you don't have to overtly feel very humbled. Many people are there. The moment they write yours humbly, I know they are not humble. Because they want to emphasize on the fact that they are doing it humbly. I told you, not necessary to do that. Yours is enough for me. Why that humbly? Humbly means you are trying to effort to emphasize that you are actually being humble. And I have seen Ati Vinayam Durta Lakshanam, Bhagavan used to say. There was one fellow student. Oh, he was so very sweet. He will almost bent over like a hydra to serve Swami and, do so many other things. And Bhagavan would, one day I was sitting and some 4-5 of us were sitting, and this fellow was in charge of some activity. He was overtly nice and humble and sweet and kind like that, which is not necessary. It was little odd to even watch him do such things. And Bhagavan looked at him and looked at me and said, means with eyes, he saw him and he saw me and saw him back and said, Ati Vinayam Durta Lakshanam. Too much of humility is the sign of Durta. Durta means, what do you say Durta? Cunning or a fraud. Too sweet if you speak, no, that is fraud. And this he just told me like that. I did not know why he is telling me. But then later in my life, I met so many people. They are overtly nice sometimes. And initially out of innocence, I would just believe that they are really nice people. But afterwards, I realized they are not at all nice. If you tell them one thing which they don't like, all that humility evaporates like Bhavasagra of the Jnani. And immediately they are so angry and upset. And they will write horrible emails and messages to you. So all that humility and niceties that you saw just a while ago, it was all superficial. The real humble people don't have to say they are humble. They don't have to do too much to show that they are humble. They will be just normal. Jnanis don't do this extreme behavior is all ajnanis only. Hyper excitement one day, jumping all around the place, trying to do this, that, everything, showing that without them nothing moves here and everything there. And other side they'll go, something goes wrong, we don't tell them, we don't appreciate them and recognize them on the stage. That is, they go swing to the other side. Totally to the opposite side of the whole thing. And then from there they start criticizing. So this is a typical behavior of the normal people. That behavior does not exist in Jnani. Nindati, na nindati, na stauti, na vrishyati, na kupyati. And na dadati, na grihnati. Even if he gives, he does not give. Even if he receives, he does not receive. That is the idea. See, when the alms have to be, all the brahmacharis, Veda Pathshala and Gurukula children are told to go and beg every day for food. Even Adi Shankaracharya did it. Why were they told to do that? Was the Guru not capable of having the funds or money or whatever resources? They had. But it was a culture, they were made to do that so that they learn humility, true humility. So once Adi Shankaracharya was also begging like this as per the norms of the Gurukula. And when he went Bhiksham Dehi to his people in the village, he saw one rich man was there who was giving away bags of rice and fruits and grains to all the Vatus, so much, and even to the other beggars. He was a rich man. But Adi Shankara did not go and stand in that queue. Somehow he felt that this man has too much of ego. He is doing it only for the sake of his own ego, he is not really charitable. So he did not go and stand in that queue. He went instead to another side where there was one lonely hut. There was one poor lady who had nothing to eat herself, forget about feeding somebody else. But he goes and starts asking Bhiksham Dehi. And this lady who is inside, she's surprised because nobody comes to her door. Why would somebody come? The house is so poor. Anybody and everybody knows she is incapable of giving any charity. Why waste time in front of her? So they will all go to the rich houses, which are good-looking houses, big houses. But he went to that hut and stood there asking for bhiksha. Finally, out of respect, she came out with tears saying, well, it's a great fortune that a brahmachari like you has honored me by coming to my doorstep and asking for bhiksha, which nobody had done so far. Because they all know I'm a poor old lady, I have nothing to offer. I'm feeling so embarrassed and ashamed that I have nothing to offer to you. Though my heart says I want to give you something, but I have nothing to offer. He says, look around, maybe you have something. So she puts her hand in a little bit of a basket which was hung from the roof. Generally to avoid ants and insects and rats, they will hang these baskets and put anything in that. So she might have forgotten. Long back she might have kept something inside. That's why she puts her hand and searches and finds a dry amla, gooseberry. Once dry one, because must have been lying for a long time which she had forgotten. And she offers that to Adi Shankara, saying, this is all I have. And Adi Shankara accepts it with tears in his eyes, looking at the purity of her heart, and bursts into a stotram, Kanakadhara stotram, which is the prayer to Mother Goddess Lakshmi to bestow wealth upon this poor lady. And the purity of his heart, Adi Shankara's heart. They say there was a rain of golden amlas on that hut, and she became very rich after that. The purity in giving, though she gives with such humility, so there is no doership on that, na dadati. And Adi Shankara receives it, not with some list of what all I take, what all I don't take. Some of these high-profile people come, a huge protocol is there. How they should sit, where they should eat, what they should not eat, who should deal with what. So much of burden. But this great Adi Shankara receives it with such humility as if he has not received it. The goddess herself received it. And in return he blesses her with abundance. So these jnanis live like that. This doing and receiving does not exist in them. That I had to learn the hard way. These are lessons I learned on my way. Some people recently told me that your teaching is interesting because you connect it to your own life's experiences, that how you learned or how you overcame many of these challenges. So for me to receive any charity or help from anybody was very difficult. Call it ego only of some kind. Why should I accept from anybody? I'm capable of it. I will go and earn it for myself. I would love to help. Dadati, I was very happy. But Grinati, I was not at all happy. To stretch my palm was very difficult for me. If anybody tries to help me also, I'll keep that in my mind, because in some circumstances you need somebody's help. But I would see to that I repay it 10 times. Much more than what the person has ever helped me with. This was our nature. And that was some kind of a joy for me, and that is how I felt comfortable. But once you end up in this organization, first of all, whatever you have is all gone. As I said, if you die folder is empty. And that was emptied way back in 2012-13 only. Nothing left to manage and survive. And I remember I cried tears and tears every time I sold an insurance policy, the pension policy, or redeemed my mutual funds, sold the stocks, sold the car, sold the house, flat, land. Every time I'll cry because I was not ready to do that. But circumstances were such, I was pushed to the wall. And Bhagavan was teaching the detachment from all these things. When you worked so hard to build all these things, whatever little career I had. Though in our heart of heart, I always said, like we all say, everything belongs to you, Bhagavan, you have given everything, all is yours. But when you have to get rid of it, I remember when I sold that Santro car, I cried for 2 hours. I called one friend who he and I both had bought the car together. He also bought a Santro car and I also, and he was consoling me. 2 hours I was crying sitting alone in Bangalore that my cherished car is going and somebody is coming to pick this up, and they took it away like a vehicle. For me it is like a living entity, a part of the family, and they just drove it off like that as if it's a car. I felt so bad. And like that, one by one, literally like a child holding on to marbles, and the parent, is pulling finger after finger and opening his fist and taking everything away. Like that it was for me. I was not wanting to go, but circumstances were such. But Guru Bhakti was also there. That helped me to cross this ocean dried up because of Guru Bhakti. Because whatever Guru says, I was ready to do, even if it was difficult. I complained and cried, but I did it finally. So that was something that really saved me. So those were the days. To letting go was not easy. And then letting go is one thing. Then you have to receive from people help. Very, very long ago when I was starting the work in Raipur, the hospital and things like that. That time Dr. Avasti Srinivas, one day he thought, how will this boy manage all these expenses of travel, moving? So he said, I was thinking from our trust, we'll give you a little salary, he told, so that you can manage your expenses of travels and things like that. I felt, not that I needed it so badly, but more than that, I felt so hurt. Oh, now I have to take money from others. So far I have been giving and spending. Should I stretch in my hands in front of others? Has such days come to me? That ego was not permitting me to do anything. Anyway, I didn't take, I refused, saying it won't be right. But deep inside, I was struggling with this idea of taking things from others. And Bhagavan had to really, really convince me, saying that you are not taking it for yourself. You are taking it for the sake of the work that I have given. And that is how charity happens. You should be able to receive things when people give. And without any ego, without any this negativity, all this sorrow and all that you are going through. Without that, objectively, that needs to be done, take it and use it. I used to feel very, very guilty about anything. And that was also a huge problem for me in the beginning. Anybody does a little help to me, I used to feel horrible about it. But they were doing it with sincerity, they were really trying to help. But I was not able to receive any help. I was very egoistic from that point of view. While giving, I was okay, but that also was ego, I realized later. While giving, you feel good. While taking, you are feeling terrible. Generally, people are opposite. While giving, they feel bad, and while taking, they are happy. But for me, it was the other way around. But at the end, I had to let go of both. Giving and receiving both had to happen as it needs to happen. And today we are running all these institutions. I have to talk to people. I have to tell them, you have to do this, you have to do that. We need help for this, help for that. And I have to do it without having any shame and without having any hesitation or guilt also. Whatever comes, it comes. But initially I used to struggle with it. I remember once Bhagavan had told me to move into Premdeep because I was living in the Saidam apartments. Till 2016 I lived there. From 2014 to 16. So B11 is where I was living. So Bhagavan said, no, you should move out of this public area and you go to Premdeep. But if I come to Premdeep, then I have to ask the other Tyagajivis who are living to vacate. Because I can't live with them, with the devotees coming and interviews happening. So I did not know my future, right? I did not know what is the next thing. But Bhagavan knew that I need that exclusivity. Slowly he was building that up. First bringing me from Bangalore to Muddenahalli, telling me to take a room and stay. Then in 1 or 2 years, slowly prepared me that no, you can't stay in public spaces. You have to come to a private. But that is, Premdeep is Bhagavan's quarters. How will I go and stay? All those ideas. What will people think? That was the bigger problem for me. Oh, look at this. This fellow is trying to usurp everything over here and stuff like that. And then I had to vacate those Tyagajivis who were living there for 20 years. You have to pack from here and give the place to me. I was feeling terribly guilty. But then 2, 3, 4 times he told me that you should listen to what I'm saying, forget about what others think. You have to move, there is things to be done. So finally I pushed myself to come, and then I had to literally ask people to leave the place. But then I carried so much of guilt and burden, saying, then they were all shifted to the old tiled roof buildings or the auditorium. That made me feel even more guilty. At least if I had arranged something better for them, I am still okay. Now I've shifted them all into these horrible old apartments which are not, sometimes it's leaking, sometimes it is not functional. That guilt was killing me, so I was hardly enjoying staying in Premdeep. All the time this guilt was bothering me. Then what I did is that I prayed to Bhagavan saying that, can we build quarters for the Tyagajivis so that they can live happily? At least I'll be free of this burden of guilt that I made them vacate a good place and send them to bad place. like that. So finally Bhagavan agreed and devotees helped, and of course that's how Prema Sadhana came up. The day it came up and all these Tyagajivis shifted, which took another 2.5 years or so from there, that is when I felt free of that burden of guilt that I have done this to them. Guilt was killing me. So till almost 2017-18, I was not able to get rid of these petty guilts of taking things from others. I used to think, no, I should not. All the more because I am supposed to be a spiritual person and I am not supposed to take things and trouble anybody. In my process of doing what I had to do, I should not be of trouble to others. That used to really hurt. It took a lot of time for me to accept things. And finally, like Draupadi, he brought me to a situation, nothing works. You let go of your hands and say, you want to pull the sari, that's up to you. I've given up. I do not want to control my life and destiny anymore. As it comes, I'm okay. Whether it's good, bad, or whatever happens. Once that feeling came, lot of this guilt evaporated. Lot of this negativity of receiving evaporated. Because for giving, I had nothing to give. He had already finished everything. The only thing I could give was my time, which I was anyway giving. But that I was doing as a service to him. So the idea of receiving was very, very difficult for me. But in a charity, how can you live without receiving? You have to receive. And sometimes people are very arrogant when they give. And some people have told me, see Swamiji, because you have been asking us so many times, this is the last time we are giving you, please next time don't ask. They have told me things like this on my face. Because I've been asking them, finally they say, okay, we'll give you something because you have been bugging us. Take this and next time don't come here. They have told me like that. And that moment I felt so guilty and angry. That why should I do this? Do I need this money? For what sake? Am I going to eat this or buy this or wear this? No. Why should? But this job demands, you have to be like that. Today I was reading the first chapter of the book of Narasimhamurthy is writing a book of divine vision of a mission. That is basically how the whole mission started from Narayan Bhatt to now, when Bhagavan taking over the trust, and then now what is happening. So the first part I was reading this morning. In that one story is there. Our Narasimhamurthy was in charge of building the Muddenahalli campus. This is way back in 70s, 72, 73. That time Narayan Bhatt put him here saying that you need to go and raise funds for the campus. And Narayan Bhatt was used to, first of all, he gave up all that he had, all his properties, despite resistance from his own kith and kin. And second thing, what did he do? He went and bugged everybody, borrowed money to build the campus at Alike. So for Muddenahalli, he didn't want to take up the campus at all. So Bhagavan told him, you take it up. Because of that, he revisited Muddenahalli and told Narasimhamurthy, you come here and you take this up. I cannot take anymore, but I will come 3 days a month. Take me anywhere you want, to anybody's house, to fundraise, to do anything. I will give you 3 days a month. That's all I can offer you. The rest of it as it happens. So our Narasimhamurthy ji will fix appointments from the Chikbalapur people, who would have committed donations for such a thing. So our Narayan Bhatt will come and our Narasimhamurthy would have fixed and taken. And before that they had Vagdan Patrika. It means even if the devotee says, I don't have money right now, I'll give next month, they'll immediately issue a receipt, post-dated receipt, that next month he's going to give us 100 rupees. And they'll tear the receipt, give one copy to him, take one for themselves, so that they can visit next month on that destined day and ask him for the 100 rupees which he had committed. So that was the method, because people commit and forget, it's very easy. So he went and took Narayan Bhatt. But our person who was supposed to be the donor, who had committed also, he gave a mouthful to our Narasimhamurthy. He was just 25 years old, saying, you have come here as if I own money to you, you bug me like this. That in front of so many people and Narayan Bhatt, it hurt him. And so when they served snacks, everybody was eating except our Narasimhamurthy. I'm not going to eat. I'm protesting. He's insulted me. As if I came here as if he did not commit. He committed, so I came here. Now he's talking so badly. So after the whole thing, our Narayan Bhatt saw, he told Narasimhamurthy, you eat, don't do this. So something he put in his mouth, I'm sure it was very difficult to swallow it. But after coming out, Narasimhamurthy started crying. Out of that anger and guilt and insult and all that put together, the mixed feelings. Then Narayan Bhatt said, don't cry like this. In this spiritual path, you have to treat everybody as a child. Some are small children, some are grown-up children, but they behave like children. They are childish, not childlike. Childish people. Just forgive them. And we have to do in public life, we have to be ready for all these things. So, receiving. Accepting things and then accepting with, at least they give with humility, it's okay. Accepting things which have been given with such arrogance and with insult, it's not easy, not easy. That is why in our old culture, Brahmacharya ashram only started with begging. They taught them, you have to be humble. You can't have arrogance. Life will show you different days on different times. Every day is not going to be your day. Some days you'll have to stretch out your hand and ask for help. And I have seen how many letters, somebody some point in time was making a lot of noise. Oh, this mission in Muddenahalli, all the time they're going around with a begging bowl, asking money from people. And as if we are asking for ourselves. So I was, still immature that time. These are 16, 17 type. So I used to feel very guilty, very bad, very angry. And I told one day to Bhagwan, don't send me on these errands of collecting money from people and reminding them they have not sent and putting this whole thing on my head. You manage it as you please. But then he said, you think I haven't done that? He told, do you think I haven't done that? All my life I have done this. Maybe inside closed doors of the interview room. May not be in the public on the mic. Haven't I done that? He said. I was shocked. I thought he was God, just things appear, people walk in with big fat checks and give him and go. He said, no. And then he told me how he built the first ashram in Puttaparthi. Stood there as a site engineer, literally in sun and rain, and would negotiate with vendors, will make every week payments to the workers, laborers. He had nobody, he has only himself. Some people had bought a land, some people committed some donations, so with that he was starting off. But he didn't have enough money to finish the very first Prashanti Mandir, which has now become like the center of the world types, you can think. But he had no money, and he would write letters to devotees. Will you send 250 rupees? Payments have to be made to the workers this weekend. Please do not delay. Then one day our Darshanaji was also telling me that somebody had donated a Fiat car to him. And he was after Indulal Shahji to somehow sell the car because he needed the money. So she showed me the letter to Indulalji saying, Indulal, how are you? All that is fine, niceties. After that, straight to the business. This car is there. Did you find anybody to sell this car to? We need the money very badly at this point in time. So he did this all his life. On the front, he was absolutely, the king-like, emperor-like person. But behind the doors, quietly, he worked, asking people for help, donations. And I'm sure people would have done this also. At one point in time, I remember a discourse was there. He gave a discourse saying, one man is coming from Australia with a suitcase and bringing 200 crores, he said. No, we all know, in a suitcase, how can you bring 200 crores? But this is a public discourse, this is not private talk. And I was there in the discourse. And he said that 200 crores is bringing in a bag, and I will going to give 1/3 to the institute, 1/3 to the hospital, 1/3 for ashram, and that is how everything will be okay. He himself was assuring himself in public on the mic. And then I believe that man never came. I think there was no such man. Somebody had overcommitted, or probably just to get some favor or time or attention might have told such things. It never happened. It never happened. He was so bad. He felt so bad about it because he had said it in public. Now nobody turned up. And towards the end of his life also, Indulalji told me, he would call him and tell, we have to collect money, otherwise how this ashram is going to run. He was always worried. And he told, we have to make a deposit of 1,000 crores at least, so that the ashram, hospital, schools, because he knew that he is going to quit very soon. We were all waiting till 96 years, right? So we were all aram se we were. But he told, and Indulalji told me before he passed away, he told me to go around the world, talk to devotees and gather 1,000 crores, which he wants to put it into a corpus fund so that the ashram and hospitals, everything will run. Until then, even Puttaparthi was hand to mouth only. It all looked very nice on the outside. It was only hand to mouth. Every month he worked and survived till the age of 80, 85 he did that. But somehow he managed to gather the funds, put 1,000 crore, a fixed deposit in Puttaparthi, and then only he left. And what effort he must have put, I do not even know how much effort. And he was the sole trustee and he was the only signatory for all the checks. Because he knew for two reasons. One, not that he didn't trust anybody, but then he knew if others find out the status of things inside, they might get scared. So he would only do so much. He would only take care of everything. And he told, have I not done all this which you are so hesitant to do? And as students, we thought, no, money just drops from the sky because he's Sai Baba after all. He's the Lord of the universe and he has all the power and he can just will and things will happen. But no, it didn't happen like that. He might have cured people of cancers just like that. He might have blessed people's businesses just like that. But when it came to his own seva, he worked hard behind the scenes. And he must have been humiliated also, I'm dead sure. People would have said things to him which were not nice. But he accepted it all because he was doing something for the greater good of all. And he told me, you must learn this. And it was very hard for me to accept that. So I went through kind of a hell where I had to listen to people. And the people would refuse us, even more hurtful. If they at least said something and gave, I was okay. If they said so much and did not give and insulted you, it was so bad. But he taught me everything. He taught me. And that is how he built this jnana. These are prerequisites. You can't be living in your comfort zones and also become a jnani. That doesn't work. That doesn't happen. That is why I've been telling from the day when I'm warning actually, I'm cautioning. If you're really wanting to experience Ashtavakra Gita, be ready to get rid of everything. If he still spares you and leaves something with you, you are just lucky. Otherwise, he's capable of taking away everything to make sure that you get only better later. But first he will take away everything, all that you're holding on to for your dear life. He will take away everything because that is attachment, that is not good. Now I have everything, what I do not have. Tell me, I lost one black small Santro. I have, 3 or 4 cars are there, though none of these are mine, they belong to devotees. They have gifted saying you use it as you need it. Now I use it for the guests also who are coming for all these functions. He has taken care that I have everything that I need. I do not ask for things. People come and offer. If I refuse, they feel bad now. It has become the other way around. So I just accept it and things keep piling up. Then I tell our boys, okay, enough. Now after every certain number of days, just distribute it off. Don't keep anything over here. Because what is my requirement after all? I need one pair of good clothing for the function. If these kind of people come, I wear torn, worn out, faded clothes, what respect they will have for me or for the institution? Some sannyasi matha is okay. They don't do any social work. They don't need to interact with it. But my case is different. So that is how it should be maintained like that. But does it belong to me? No. What do I need other than that? If I go to room, I just wear a cotton dhoti and a cotton baniya and that's it. And that doesn't cost much. But for that sake, I don't have to bend low, isn't it? But that Bhagavan taught me. It's not for your sake. This grahnati, dadati is not for you. You should grow beyond this. This is for the greater good of all. And be willing to work for the greater good of all, whatever it takes. So unless nindas have happened, people have ridiculed us, they said horrible things about us, they've also praised us in public platform. The recent times, Prime Minister himself praised. Then Hrishyati, so should we get excited about all the achievements or Kupyati, get irritated with all the negativities and challenges? Should we worry about that we are donating or we are doing so much good to the people, or should we start boasting about it? Or should we feel guilty when we are accepting these charities and sometimes even listening to certain horrible things? None of these should matter. Muktaha sarvatra nirasaha. The jnani lives free of all these things, sarvatra, in all times, at every place. Nirasa, as if he has no interest in it. Like a tongue which has fever cannot taste a sweet, gulab jamun also. Like that, these people don't have taste for the world. What needs to be done, let us do it and be done with it. That's about it. They don't spend more than that much time, thought or energy on any things in the world. Just for that moment, they use it and leave it. These are the qualities of a jnani. You have to understand. And why you are a part of this mission? Because this is practical. See, theoretically you will say, what a wonderful idea, nindati, rishyati. But really when you face the situations, especially when the things are negative, positive ones also are failure only, I mentioned the other day. If you get excited about all the good things, then also you have failed. Of course, if you get depressed about the wrong things, also you have failed. Why? Because in both situations you have deviated from your original self. And that deviation is failure. So it demands that you should not deviate. And beautiful shlokas are there in Bhagavad Gita also, chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita. Now look at those qualities of the devotees from the viewpoint of Ashtavakra and what we have there. There are also 2 shlokas there. I have written, it's not in the book here. Tulya ninda sutir mauni santushto yena kenachid aniketah sthirmatihi bhaktiman me priyo naraha is one shloka. He says Tulya ninda sutir mauni. In the ninda and praise and blame, he remains the same. Then santushtaha, ever happy and contented. Yena kenachid, somehow or the other. Today he gets to eat nice savories and sweets, he's happy. Tomorrow he eats only a curd rice and some bitter food, then also he's okay. Somehow he manages to be happy, finds ways to be happy. Aniketaha, he has no address, like me. There is no home, there is no address, no property, nothing to call as my own. And then stiramatihi, steady-minded, because no worries. What worry is there? No worry. Bhaktiman, the one who is full of devotion, is dear to me. Similarly, he says, Sama Shatraucha Mitrecha, he has no friends, no enemy. He is equal to all. Tadha mana apamanayo, so also to insult and to praise. He is same. He doesn't get excited. Shitoshna sukha dukkheshu, like in the cold and heat, and sukha and dukha, samaha. He is same. Sangavarjitaha, because he has no attachment to any of these things. So unattached life is of Jnani. Attached life is that of Ajnani. The fools or the unwise people, they get attached to everything. They see something, now they start desiring for it. They hear something, they start desiring for it. One day I was in Kodaikanal. I like those chrysanthemums and all those big dahlias. So one day I told, these people plugged and brought it and kept it in my room. I got upset. I said, I told I like it. Who asked you to pluck it from there? They said, no, we thought we will offer you. I told, no. It was happy, looking good there. As long as it lived, it was giving joy to everybody. It could have given joy for 10 days. Now you have killed it in one day. Only I can enjoy it for this day. Tomorrow it is gone. Now we'll put it in water. Whatever you do. Should have been there on the plant. Why did you pluck them out and bring? So the idea is that you see, but you don't desire for it. I must have it. No, that is not there. You see, you enjoy it from a distance. But you don't demand that I should have it all for myself. And I should be the only enjoyer of it. No, let everybody enjoy. See, anything we do in the ashram is for everybody, right? You build anything, it's for all. All can enjoy it. Whatever infrastructure is created, it's for everybody to use and enjoy. Nobody is restricted from that. The idea is that whatever Jnanis do, even they have it for themselves, they think it's for all. Because they don't think of themselves as individuals away from the society. So also they do not get attached to anything that they have. Bhagavan's story of that collar pin is there, right? That was the story. Somebody gave him a collar pin. Remember that he went to Ballari and then he got a collar pin as a gift. And that was a fashion in those days, British fashion. You put the collar pin between the two collars. It's a golden pin. So he was proudly wearing it everywhere. And one day on the way back from the school, he realized he had lost it. But then it occurred to him, how did I get attached to that collar pin in the first place that I'm searching for it so desperately? As if I have lost something big. Am I not supposed to be the Jnani who is not attached to things? Where did this idea of running or searching for the collar pin come to me? That fear that I lost it and that anxiety. This is all signs of attachment. And that was the turning point. Where he said, good riddance. Collar pin is gone. And with that, this idea of attachment to this world also is gone. Then that's why he says, Maya has left me, he says. So these Jnanis have their own typical way of, doing things. Losing that collar pin was not just an incident. It was kind of a reminder to himself that how I got fond of this collar pin and now I'm anxious that I've lost it. Like that, am I getting into this world too much? Oh, this is a clarion call. This is the bell that rang now. I must give up the world. And immediately he dropped the whole thing. Maya has left me. So every incident in life, pratibodha vididam matam, every incident teaches something. But hopefully the lesson is spiritual. We must see how we see it. It depends on that. Anybody else, other child would have cried and cried and cried. But Bhagavan said, no, this is an indication, this is the signal. This is the moment I drop it. So he dropped it. And with that he dropped the world along with that gold collar pin. So that was the symbolic thing. They are not attached. They are not attached to anything. So that is the idea that in all situations they remain the same and they are not attached. There is a nice sloka, somewhere it comes, yasyasya kritarthasya lakshanani tasya sadhakasya sadhanani. It means whatever are the qualities of the blessed ones, the kritarthas, those who have redeemed themselves, those are the things to be practiced by the seekers. So how do you become a Jnani? Practice their behavior, pretend, tend, end, that I keep saying. Pretend that you are a Jnani, you will tend to be a Jnani, you will end up being Jnani. Pretend means start with what all are the qualities of these Jnanis. Oh, they don't criticize anybody. I also should not criticize anybody. They don't become excited when somebody praises them. I also not become excited. They don't have any problem in giving things away when people need it. I also should not hesitate. They don't have any problem in receiving things for the greater good of all. I also should not have the ego to not receive it. I should also be able to accept it. Or they do not get angry when people curse them or say things. Yes, I also should be. So these are the qualities, Ashtavakra Gita's practical tips. So you check whether you are following these things. If you are following, then there is some hope. If you are not following any of these things and you are not improving, there is no hope. These are simply intellectual exercises which are not going to take us too far. So our ego or our attachments have to go. That is the basic prerequisite for jnana. If you don't want to get rid of your ego and attachments, there is no jnanodaya. Nothing is going to happen. You can read another 100 books in your lifetime. Nothing is going to move. The needle is not going to move. What moves the needle is this willingness to follow in the footsteps of the jnani. Bhagavan used to say, I have two footprints, love and service. And if you want to catch me, you have to follow this footprint trail. And wherever this is taking you, that is where I am. So how do you know where the person has gone? You follow the footprints. When Krishna Ashtami, we put footprints of Krishna coming to home. Or during the Deepavali, we put Lakshmi's footprints to home. Like that, Bhagavan has left two footprints, love and service. And the one who does love and service will find him because he is walking behind him. So wherever, even if Bhagavan is kilometers away, finally you will catch him because you are following in his footsteps. So that is the idea. Please practice these qualities consciously. Not when situations arise and then randomly you practice. No, consciously you practice these qualities and slowly you will be able to overcome all these attachments and desires of the world. 17.14, page number 53. This again, for the youngsters, it is very important. It says, Sanuragam striyam drishtva mrutyum va samupasthitam avihal, I find it difficult this. Avihval manaha swastho mukta eva mahashayaha. Which means, Sanuragam striyam drishtva. When he sees a woman, it means a person of the opposite gender, a beautiful, handsome personality, does not get attached. Oh, I must have this person in my life. Those ideas don't arise. Nor mrutyum va samupistitam. Nor when death comes, which is the other extreme. One is the spring of life, youth. You want another person to be your companion and be a part of your life and all that. And the other side, your desire could be when death arrives. Even then, he is unaffected. Avihval manaha. Vihval means disturbed, agitated. Avihval manaha means the mind which is not disturbed or agitated in both situations. Swastho, because he is staying, abiding in the self. He is only seeing the self, not the bodies and beauties. Even death is not a botheration because he knows death is a part of the process. It's a pit stop in the long journey of the soul. Swasthaha, he is free, he is established in himself. Mukta, he is free. Mahashayaha, such a great one. Ashtavakra is praising him. He is giving him the title of Mahashayaha, of great disposition, of great mind, of great existence. Who is that? Who does not get affected either ways. In the best of the situations, like the best of the time in life is when? When you are young, spring of life they call. Your youth is the spring of life. And what do you get? The biggest desire of being young is what? To have an opposite gender or to have a companion. If boy is there, he'll ask for a girl. Girl is there, he'll ask for a boy. That is the biggest attachment in the life. But in that situation also he is not affected. Or when he become too old, when he is about to die, even then he has no fear. In the what is the best situation of life? Your youth. What is the worst situation of your life? Your old age. In both the situations he is unaffected. He remains the same. Why? Because he is swastaha. He is established himself in the divine consciousness. So young age or old age or nice things or not nice things don't affect him anymore. He is established, muktaha, he is free from the young age, the desires of the young or youthful age, or the desire of the old age which is to avoid death. Both he has overcome, and mukta eva, and he has become completely free. Completely free. Now it's extremely important because both kinds of people are there inside this room. Some are young, boys and girls are there. They have their desires and that affects them. And people, power children write to me also, they are passing through that teenage, and they sometimes write letters to me, Swami, please help me, my mind is getting distracted. I saw somebody the other day, I tried to not think about her, but again and again the face is coming in my mind, again and again my thought is going to her. I'm trying to do sadhana, I'm trying to read scriptures, I'm to pay attention, but mind is getting deviated. And I totally sympathize with the person, because that's what happens at that age, I know it. This is how it is. Balastavat krida saktaha, tarunastavat taruni saktaha, vriddhastavat chinta saktaha. This is the basics of human behavior. When you are children, you bring a beautiful lady in front of a 7-year-old boy. He is not, where is my cricket bat, he'll be searching. I need to go and play. He's interested in women, wealth, wine, nothing. He's interested in bat and ball. Because his mind is interested at that age, that is the interest that he has. Similarly, a grown-up man is there, 18 year, 20 year. There is a beautiful damsel in front of him, and you bring a cricket bat. Hey, here is cricket bat. He tells, throw the cricket bat. You don't know what's in front of me. Till yesterday you altered the cricket bat. That was yesterday. Today I've grown up. I'm no more a child. You fool, you run away from here. Because interests have changed. When you become young, you're interested in young woman and young man. That is the whole interest. You're not interested in your parents, not interested in studies, not interested in even jobs or money or ambitions. First desire is to have a companion. So in the best of the time of your life, when you desire for a opposite person, opposite gender, or in the worst of the times of your life, you have lived your life, now you're done. To an old man, you bring a cricket bat or a beautiful damsel, none of it matters. All is worried that I don't know when I'm going to kick the bucket. I don't want to die so soon. I still have businesses to run. I have things to do. And I want to see the face of my great-great-great-grandchild, and then only I want to die. All these desires are there in the old man. So he wants to avoid death. We live like that, right? Who does not live like that, you tell me? Everybody lives like that. In both situations, this person is unaffected. Person is totally unaffected. And that is the idea of this jnani. The jnani's mind is at some other level. That's what I'm saying. He's risen above all these petty things. And his interests have changed. Just like a child's interest is in playing, and the young man's interest is in a young woman, or the old man's interest is only his worries of whatever he has accumulated and amassed. This man's interest, jnani's interest, is in swastha. He is in self. He is abiding in the self, in the consciousness. So where is the question of he getting affected by all these things? But nevertheless, if till you are a jnani, you have to take caution. You have to practice some discipline and some lines and limits. Otherwise, you will never become a jnani. Why? Because every little thing you get distracted and you fall for it. And keep falling. When will you reach? So for the young age, there are disciplines that have been put in the yama, niyama disciplines are there. Satya, ahimsa, asteya, aparigraha, brahmacharya. These are the 5 rules for the societal behavior. Satya, speak truth, don't lie. Ahimsa, don't be violent in thought, word and action to anybody. Then shaucha, be clean. And something else. Satya, ahimsa, asteya. Asteya means don't steal another person's things. Aparigraha, don't hoard unnecessarily. Others also need it. Leave it for them too. And then brahmacharya, be free of these desires which affect the life of a student. Brahmacharya is to be completely absorbed in your studies and your learning. That is the age. That is the behavior outside. And brahmacharya is for all also. Even married people have to think like brahmacharis. In the sense, marriage is only for the sake of begetting progeny, to propagate or further the society. But beyond that, it is of no reason. Otherwise, you are supposed to be thinking only of God. Then the personal behaviors are also there, which are shaucha, cleanliness, outside and inside, santosha, contentment, tapas, continuous prayers or seeking of the divine. Then tapas, swadhyaya, keep studying the scriptures or self-study. And Ishvara pranidhana, surrender to the divine, interest in the divine. These are the things you have to practice as youngsters. And you look at our hostel rules. They are these. You may not see it directly compared, but look at everything satya, telling the truth, not hurting others, not troubling others, asteya, not stealing from each other. You have your things, you deal with it. Aparigraha, don't unnecessarily hoard anything, including your knowledge. Share with everybody in the hostel. Brahmacharya, Your attention should be on God and learning, and not in the pleasures of the body and the mind. And then niyamas are there, these personal behavior rules are there, which is shaucha, cleanliness, which is very important. Because cleanliness is next to godliness, they say, and I say cleanliness is godliness, both clean inside and on the outside. Then you show santosha, be happy with what you have. Sometimes you get little less marks, sometimes you lose a game or two. Still learn to be contented, because it's another brother of ours, another sister of ours only who has benefited from this, right? So how does it matter? Let us rejoice in every situation, be contented. Then tapas, continuous burning desire to know the truth. That is why this Paravidya, and I'm hoping that your interest in God and spiritual things is invoked by this continuous contemplation on these things. And Swadhyaya, self-study, both academic study as well as spiritual study, that we do. Then Ishvara Pranidhana, to be surrendered to the divine, to be willing to let go of things for the sake of the divine, which is what I'm teaching you: sacrifice for the divine, serve the people, don't think individually, don't think selfishly. These are the ideas. So these Yama Niyama, which comes from Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga, these are the basic rules of this ashram, this hostel. You can easily traverse this path of spirituality if you just follow this simple thing. But no, human mind is not so easy. That's why in the beginning I started with the mind. Because mind is habituated, his samskaras are there from lives times. We were animals at some point in time, all of us. And we have become human over the process of evolution. But those instincts are still deeply embedded. So we behave like animals, ahara, nidra, bhaya, maitunamcha. And things like that. Our Narada Bhakti Sutra says, Sri Dhana Nastika Charitram Na Shravaniyam. So how do you manage to stay true to this path? Three. Listening about another woman means same thing, opposite also applies. A girl listening, thinking, contemplating on another boy. 1. 2. Dhana, about wealth. How to make money, how to get rich, how to get here, how to get there. 3. Nastika Charitram. Stories of the people who don't believe in God. Atheists. These 3 things one should not dwell upon if you want to be a good devotee. 1. Dwelling on the opposite gender all the time. 2. Dwelling on how to make money, and wealth means all kinds of wealth. And 3. Dealing with or living with or being in the company of atheists. These 3 should be avoided, he says. Should not even listen to it. Should not even hear about it from anybody. Stay away from these 3 things if you want to be on the spiritual path. It's very clear. That is what he said. And Shankaracharya in his Bhajagovindam sings beautifully. He says, Nari stanabhara nabhi desham drishtva maga moha vesham etan mamsavasadi vikaram manasi vichintyam varam varam. Generally we don't sing this stanza. But this stanza says, Nari stanabhara nabhi desham. Looking at the breasts of the women and the waist of the women, don't get attached to their bodies, because this is nothing but flesh and fat. Take away the flesh and fat from the body, only skeleton remain. Now who is beautiful? Now who wants to be attracted by them? Nobody. They'll run away. It's only till the flesh and fat is there in the body, we look healthy and beautiful. Our shape is nice to look at. But if the fat disappears, like you are having some sickness or disease, and the flesh disappears, only bone and skin remain, who is going to look beautiful and who is going to love you? So don't think of people from this point of view. These are vikaras. These are all modifications of the flesh and fat only. Manasi vichintya varam varam. So keep thinking about it again and again. I gave this tip to one fellow who was struggling with some attachment. He said, Swami, I'm trying to develop an X-ray vision, but it is not coming. I'm seeing that girl and I don't want to look at her the way she looks at it. And I'm trying to develop X-ray vision. I think if she's walking, I think she's walking like a skeleton, so that I don't look at her figure and shape and form and won't get attached. But that X-ray vision is not coming, he said. I have to buy some X-ray vision glasses for everybody. So that's a symbolic way of saying, little more contemplation, little more thinking. Then you perhaps will get that. But it is not easy, I know, because this is the Maya, no? This is how the world has been created. So beautiful, so attractive, so charming, so enticing. How can you just walk away from it saying, this doesn't exist? This is all Maya. It's a very big struggle. That's the whole game. Life is a game, playing it. This is the game. The opposition is this, all the Maya of the world, which is so powerful. How can you just say the person does not exist and only skeleton is walking? Not possible. You look at them and you see the beauty and then you are enamored. But the only thing I keep telling them, please don't look at anything twice. First time you look at something stirs within you, I understand that. But if you again try to turn around and look again, that's it, you caught now. First time is not a problem, just look and walk away, done. But that stealthily again trying to look back at things and people will get you attached. The dhyato will start, of vishayana punsaha. So that's why avoid too much of friendships and companionships and unnecessary. And imagine social media is such a damaging thing. Because even if you don't know the people, you are just becoming friends with them. Whereas Narada says, Sridhana nastika charitra na shravaniyam. Never even discuss, never even engage in any discussion or talk or conversation about women, wealth and atheistic people. Who will always tell God does not exist. How does he exist? Show me where is he. He will confuse you also. Many people say, I want to go and change them. I will bring faith in their hearts. And all. I told you, retain your faith. That is more than enough for me. Once you become very strong, then I can say, you don't know how to swim. You want to save somebody who is drowning. How is it possible? So first you develop your faith and convictions very, very strong. Then nothing will shake you. Go wherever you want. Do whatever you want. Nothing can affect you then. But till you have not developed enough strength, you should not engage with others trying to transform them. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. I've seen so many of our students also, they just got married at first sight, love at first sight marriages. After that, they're struggling because the women they're not interested in satsangs, they're not interested in seva, they're not interested in doing dana or charity, they're not interested in bhajans, and they're not interested in God. Then why did you get married? Because you didn't think of all these criteria at that time when you wanted to marry. That time you looked at the girl and you just wanted to marry badly. Now after marriage, you're struggling. That's why in old times, children were married off quite early. When they were just 7, 8 years old, Nishchitartham was done. Two families would come together and say, this boy, this girl will get married. And when they will come of age, then they were transferred. In the sense, the girl was transferred to the boy's house. But there was no question of how you will look at 16. Based on that, we will decide about the marriage. That was never the way. Looks was not the reason for marriage. As children, how do you look? How do you know? As children, you don't even understand what is going on because elders would decide. That was the trick. So that, you don't marry by looking at their skin or their shape and size and figure and physique. You simply marry based on the culture of the two families, and there is a method, we have astrology, which would predict how these two people will be compatible or not based on their gunas. So that was the only criteria, and 36 gunas were there. They should match. If they match, they knew that these people will be compatible. Even if they are not that good looking or whatever, it was not a problem. But today what is happening? People are marrying based on only the looks. They don't even look beyond their looks. Only first phase is like this, let us marry. After that, lifelong struggle. Then naturally, this beauty will disappear after some time. And 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, you won't look the same. After that, then mind starts searching for somebody else. Because mind is not getting old, body is getting old. Then adultery, then this, then that, all kinds of nonsense. This is what happens. So the idea is that if you are a jnani, you can navigate this world very easily. Whether you're married or unmarried, it is secondary. Anything in this life has to be dealt with from a point of objectivity and detachment. Only then you can take a right decision. If you're attached, you cannot take the right decision. Sometimes I struggle to take decisions because I know the family, I know the child, I know their background, their devotees, their donors, they are helpful for our mission. But that fellow is a notorious fellow. And he's broken all rules and discipline. Now everybody is looking at my face. Swamiji, take a decision. And I find it difficult to take a decision because the moment I take a decision, immediately mail and phones will come from the parents. Saying 10 years we have served you, have done everything that you have told us to do. Couldn't you forgive one small mistake of our child? Would you not accept? But how do I tell we have forgiven 10 times but he's still not behaving himself? And all the teachers and everybody is upset. Now how do I stand in between that? So then Raja Dharma kicks in. And Raja Dharma means take a decision objectively. I make a decision, I upset a lot of people. But then I have to go by what needs to be done. So these are the problems that happen when you are not objective, when you are not detached, you cannot make decisions. Your decisions will always go wrong because you are biased, you are influenced. And so you should be very, very detached. There's a story I read about Prahalada. Look at his detachment. It seems his son was Virochana. Prahalada, we all know, Hiranyakashipu's son. But when he became a king and he had a son by name Virochana, he Virochana was a small boy and he used to go to school. And in the school he had one schoolmate, another of his age. And that fellow was the son of the Guru Angira. Angirasa is the Guru of the school and his son. His name was Sudanva. So this Sudanva and Virochana were classmates. But one day they had an argument, like all children have, that who is superior. And the argument Virochana put forward is that I am the son of the king, so I am superior to you. The other one said, no, I am the son of a rishi. I am superior to you because rishis are superior, the jnani is superior than the king. They said, whoever is superior, we will decide, and the one who is not superior will have to, there is only one who can live. The superior one will live, the inferior one will die. Like that they had some kind of a pact. And then they did not know whom to select as a judge, because somebody who is impartial should judge this. So this Virochana said, whom should we select? Sudhanva said, we will select Prahalada, your father, as the judge. He said, but later don't complain that he is my father, he took my side and he was partial to you. He said, no, my father Angirasa had told, Prahalada is the most just king on earth. He will never take a wrong decision, so I trust him. I trust my father and my father trusts your father, so let's go to your father. So both of them come to Prahalada, asking, you tell us who is superior between the two of us. And Prahalada says, what was the problem? How did it all start? They explain. We started arguing and then I told, I am the son of the king, so I am superior. He said he is the son of the rishi, so he is superior and one of us only can live after this. Prahalada says he is the son of the rishi, he is definitely superior. Calls his servant, says, take this my son and take him to the gallows. Then this Virochana is shocked. He is saying, how could you do this to your own son? Prahalada is not bothered. Justice is justice, detached. Then Virochana, when he is crying for help, this boy, Sudhanva, who is really superior, he says, okay, between you and me, Prahalada, who is superior, he asks. Prahalada says, you are only superior because you are the son of a rishi. I am the son of a Rakshasa. So you are only superior. He said, then you should listen to your superiors, isn't it? He said, of course we have to listen to our superiors. He said, then I am ordering you to release Virochana and not kill him. So he follows that also. So these people live like that, absolutely detached. What is right, that is to be done. This is possible only if you are jnani. Ajnanis cannot make decisions. They will always be biased, influenced, and their decisions will always be wrong. Why? Because they are involved in it, they get attached to it. Unattached mind is very much needed for decision making. That is why I said, when you are emotional and attached, don't make a decision. Don't make a decision. Because the moment you make a decision, it will always go wrong. And I have experienced, I can give you plenty of examples which were emotional decisions and went really bad. Including one I said, no, I tried to save a family from Middle East by lending money through our devotees. And he filed a case on me only later. He was not returning the money, Ulta filed a case on me. Then I realized this was an emotional decision to help somebody. Because I knew the children, I didn't want them to be on the roads. They were studying in the university. I didn't want them to stop their education halfway. Somewhere you got emotionally involved. So that is why the sannyasis were never used to stay in anybody's house. Only on the portico outside. Because if you stay in their house, then you start developing some family kind of relationships. Then emotional attachments will start. Ayo, I knew that fellow. He's a good fellow. For the fault of father, why should the son be punished? Let me do something about it. These are unnecessary things. Unnecessary things. That's why these sannyasis will come. They will never enter the doors of the house. They will stay outside on the portico. Take food, water, rest there and leave. They don't develop any friendships with anybody. That's why I don't like staying in people's homes. Because there is a good possibility that somewhere little attachment will develop. And next time they will expect things from you and then you feel very obliged. You have to do, even your inside says no, your mind will come in the way saying, oh, they were so nice to you, they were so kind, they looked after you so well, this, that. That's why I want ashrams only everywhere. But ashram is neutral place. It's not about all emotional things that you have done, nor my emotions will be there. This is a neutral place. Ashrama, effortless place. That's where you should live, because that's where you can make the right decisions. In homes, you cannot make decisions. Why would parents go to teachers, gurus, to seek guidance on decisions? Because gurus have impartiality. They're not going to make a decision based on they like you, they don't like you. They'll make a decision based on what is right, what is not right. That impartiality is possible for a detached person and a jnani. An ajnani cannot make such decisions. This is why children were sent to gurukulas to study, not homeschooled, not kept at home. Because parents are invariably biased towards their children. They will always defend them even if they go wrong. Whereas teachers will do what is right. That's why Gurukula system was from the day one. Our culture is so very good. Everything was perfect. Everything was destroyed by this colonization. These people came and told what you do is all wrong. We will teach you to do the right things. And the white skin and the shiny clothes, they mesmerized us with all those things. Because mind is interested in all these superficial things. And we were not developed enough as Gyanis, so easily we slipped. And now we have slipped and fell all the way down at the bottom of the mountain we are. Now again to climb back to the peak is going to take a lot of effort. But this is the effort, nishpaksha, that is without any partiality. We have to look after our children and also live in the world without any attachment. Now with this I will close for today. As I said, we will keep trying to cover as much as possible. Whatever comes, yada yad kartum ayati, we will do. What doesn't happen, that's it. But the truth is that Ashtavakra's one shloka is enough. The beginning itself it says, Katham jnanam vapnoti, katham muktir bhavishyati, as he says, Vishayan vishavatyaja, give up the pursuit of the senses and the pleasures of senses like you will give up poison, and instantly then and there. And Shama, Arjava, Daya, Tosha, Satyam, Piyushavat Bhaja, Shama, forbearance and forgiveness, Arjava, straightforwardness, honesty, Daya, compassion, Tosha, contentment, and Satyam, truth. Piyushavat Bhaja, drink it like nectar, and give up the attachment and desire for the world like you would give up poison. That is the very first shloka, explains everything. But these, as I said, are the ways we can compare that how Jnani lives, what he does. Am I able to do that? Am I able to live like that? And then inspire yourselves to follow in the footsteps of the Jnani. That's why this elaboration of shloka. Otherwise, these qualities are there in Bhagavad Gita also. Look at the chapter 12. There it comes multiple times. In second chapter, Atma Jnana is being mentioned, what you call Sthita Prajna. And Bhakta is being mentioned in the 12th chapter. Again in 15th chapter, you hear about people who are Sthiramatihi. So you can see these qualities are not new. They are there, and we have not heard about these things before. We have all heard, but that's happened. We brought from this year and taken out from another year conveniently and forgotten about all those things. But if you don't put in practice, all this is a wasted effort. So don't waste the effort. At least don't waste my time. You waste your time, you might have plenty of time to waste. I have no time to waste. And whatever time is given to me, I am trying to utilize it to make everybody better. So please respect that. And for that sake, at least do put efforts to get closer to the qualities of the Jnani by self-analysis and some kind of self-audit every day. If you don't do the introspection, you will not go far. So do that introspection. Every time something you do which is not in line with the Jnani's behavior, as I said, a bell should ring in your head. Unless that is happening, you are not learning much. That bell should ring. Immediately your conscience should prick. Immediately that awareness should happen. Oh, I am deviating. This is not Jnani behavior. And thus I'll close with one small incident. I was telling, follow the Guru, copy the Guru, pretend to be Guru, and you will also become one day Guru. So somebody wrote to me, Swamiji, I tried to emulate you. You sit for 3 hours, 4 hours without fidgeting, scratching, lifting your leg, putting one over the other. Some of them are sitting in Padmasana. This is a formal gathering. You can't sit on chairs in Padmasana. Please put your legs down and sit. Then some people in the between, resting their head like this, scratching somewhere, yawning. And when they yawn, I can see the whole Brahmanda in their mouth. Please cover your mouth and yawn. That is basic decency, especially children. They open their mouth and yawn. Looks so bad. Somebody is scratching, somebody is, troubling the next fellow also. Because they're bored, they do keep. This is all I saw during evenings also. That's why I told kids you sit outside, because the kids tend to do that. And simply that every 25-30 minutes, they keep going to bathroom. If one goes, 2 people behind will go. And one starts the trend and continuously they're going. It is disturbing the audience, what you call the meeting, right? It's a Sabha Maryada. So I was telling. So this lady wrote to me saying that, I just tried to sit like you without moving, fidgeting and doing anything for 2-3 hours. I couldn't follow you. Even physically I cannot follow you that you sit straight and talk to so many people and you are not distracted, you are always steady. That much also is not possible for me. How will I follow you on the spiritual side, she said. I said, good, at least you realize that you are not following. Now there is a scope for you to learn and improve. If you don't even realize, then there is no scope for me to teach you anything. So I was just mentioning that you can start with this itself. How you behave physically, from there you can start emulating a good example. And then mentally and then spiritually also you can follow through. Understand? That is very important. Unless you have an example, very difficult to learn. I put Bhagwan as an example, so I learnt a lot of things from him. And now, because I've seen physically also and otherwise also. And you have example now, you have to emulate those examples. If you don't do that, it's very difficult. That's why yasyasya kritartasya lakshanani tasya tasya sadhakasya sadhanani. Whatever are the qualities of the realized ones, those are the things to be practiced by the seekers. Simply practice those qualities from Ashtavakra Gita. Sing. They're going to sing Bhaja Govinda. Or Nidhi Chala Sukhma. This is the Tyagaraja Bhajan, which says his wealth is more pleasurable, or the company of Rama, his proximity more pleasurable.
Nidhi Chala Sukhama Nidhi Chala Sukhama Ramuni Sannidhi Seva Sukhama Nidhi
सर्वसुगुणसिन्धवे सकलसुजनबन्धवे सर्वसुगुणसिन्धवे सकलसुजनबन्धवे गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् दीनदुःखितपोषकाय दानधर्मप्रेरकाय दीनदुःखितपोषकाय दानधर्मप्रेरकाय सर्वलोकहितरताय सर्वमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय सत्यमङ्गलम् वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय ब्रह्मज्ञानबोधकाय दिव्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय दिव्यमङ्गलम् सत्यसायिनः प्रियाय सत्यप्रेमविग्रहाय सत्यसायिनः प्रियाय सत्यप्रेमविग्रहाय नित्यशुद्धनिर्मलाय नित्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय दिव्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्तजना संरक्षक भक्तजना संरक्षक पति महेश्वर ॐ जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपद्बान्धव ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मातापिता गुरुदैवं मरियन्तयु नीवे स्वामी मरियन्तयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नागेन्द्राशयन ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी वो साई महादेव सद्गुरु साई महादेव मंगल हारति अंतुको मंगल हारति अंतुको मंगल गिरिधारी ॐ जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति 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 समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु शांति 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 जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय जय बोलो सद्गुरु श्री मधुसूदन साई जी की जय